shown in the NBA, Northern Marinera and Peruvian Cajon were present at halftime of a basketball game. Peru shown in the NBA, Northern Marinera and Peruvian Cajon were present at halftime of a basketball game. The cultural wealth of Peru shines at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. with the elegance of the Northern Sailor and the distinctive rhythm of the Peruvian Cajon. The cultural richness of our country is manifested in the way its inhabitants perceive and experience the world through their identity. It is a meeting point of traditions, stories and memories, where differences become a bond that unites all cultures, ethnic groups, peoples and citizens. Peru, with its vast range of cultural expressions and manifestations, stands out as one of the most diverse countries in the world. Among its most precious treasures are dance, music, gastronomy, popular art, traditional festivities, textiles, natural medicines and languages, among others. Recently, the Northern Marinera and the Peruvian Cajon captured the world's attention when they performed during halftime of an NBA game in the United States. This event highlighted the richness and value of our traditions on an international stage. The Northern Marinera and the Peruvian Cajon stole the show in an NBA game, held on Wednesday, March 6 at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. before a crowd of enthusiasts with capacity for more than 20,000 spectators. The Peruvian presentation took place during the interval of the game between the Washington Wizards and the Orlando Magic. It was a unique moment in the history of basketball in the city, where attendees were amazed by the energy and talent exhibited by one of the flag dances of Peru and the distinctive rhythm of the Peruvian Cajon. The event was possible thanks to the organization of the Embassy of Peru in the United States, which sought to bring Peruvian cultural wealth to a stage as relevant as the NBA, as part of its efforts to promote tourism and the image of our country. The Papelca USA School of Art and Music was in charge of providing a musical and dance show, with the participation of more than 20 talented Peruvian dancers and musicians residing in Washington, D.C., of various ages. Victor Ruiz, director of the school, emphasized the relevance of the Peruvian Cajon as one of the most outstanding percussion instruments worldwide. We have had the opportunity to perform in various settings over the last 20 years, working in collaboration with the embassy, but this is the first time that we are in front of a stadium as large and majestic as the NBA, mentioned the director of dances. We are going to introduce ourselves, we are going to have a good time and we are going to make Peruvian culture known, but above all we are going to highlight our academy, said one of the participants. The video of the presentation was shared on the social media platform TikTok, receiving praise from thousands of users who highlighted the grace and beauty of the national dance, known as the Marinera, while others expressed their deep pride in Peru. The beauty of the sailor captivates all Peruvians and also foreigners who praise her charm. The prestige of this dance, which is essentially performed as a couple, has crossed the borders of our country to become the ambassador of Peruvian dances and an indispensable participant in all commemorative activities of the national anniversary abroad, international tourist fairs and festivals where Peru is the guest of honor. Marinera historians agree that this traditional dance has its origins in the 17th century and is a product of cultural mixing. One of its roots is the European dance called minuet, which arrived with the Spanish and was manifested during the Viceregal era. It was a dance that was performed at celebrations called by the colonial authorities and at festivities of aristocratic and wealthy families, especially in the coastal provinces. This dance was observed with interest and assimilated by the servants, made up of mestizos, African slaves and indigenous people, who modified the reverence and cadence that characterized the minuet, both in the dance steps and in the music, to generate their imprint with movements, happier rhythms and sounds. Leave us your comment and subscribe to continue growing and follow us on our social networks, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and TikTok. When and at what time does Peru vs Nicaragua play in an international friendly 2024 in Matute? When and at what time does Peru vs Nicaragua play in an international friendly 2024 in Matute? Peru vs Nicaragua. The match live from 8:30 Peruvian time. Review the incidents of the match between the Peruvian national team and Nicaragua at the Alejandro Villanueva Stadium with the debut of coach Jorge Fossati. The Peruvian national team will return to action when it plays its first match of 2024, an international friendly against its counterpart from Nicaragua. This match will mark the debut of coach Jorge Fossati in charge of the bicolor, who took over after the departure of Juan Reynoso. Fossati's main objective is to recover Peru with a view to this year's Copa America and the resumption of the qualifiers, where he is last. For the trials with Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic, the coach summoned 29 players, with the inclusion of historic veteran Paulo Guerrero and winger Oliver Sani, who awaits his debut in the national team. When does Peru play versus Nicaragua? The match for the FIFA date in an international friendly, between Peru and Nicaragua, will take place on Friday, March 22, with the bicolor being local in the district of La Victoria, in Lima. What time does Peru vs play Nicaragua? The match between the Peruvian national team versus Nicaragua will be played at 8:30 p.m. Peruvian time, 7:30 p.m. Nicaragua time, at the Alejandro Villanueva Stadium, Matute. Peru, 8:30 p.m. Nicaragua, 7:30 p.m. Argentina, 10:30 p.m. Ecuador, 8:30 p.m. Colombia, 8:30 p.m. Mexico, 7:30 p.m. Uruguay, 10:30 p.m. Brazil, 10:30 p.m. Chile, 10:30 p.m. Paraguay, 10:30 p.m. United States, Miami, 8:30 p.m. United States, Los Angeles, 5:30 p.m. Spain, 2:30 a.m., Saturday, March 23. Where to watch Peru against Nicaragua via TV in an international friendly. The live match will be broadcast throughout the national territory on Open TV on America TV and 8TV, while it can also be seen on Movistar Deportes, Channel 3 and 703 HD, of Movistar TV. RPP will broadcast the friendly on radio, on the frequency 89.7 FM, 7:30 AM, its various stations nationwide and on audio player. What is the list of those called up for the Peruvian national team? Goalkeepers, Pedro Galese, Renato Solis, Diego Romero, and Carlos Casada. Defenders, Anderson Santamaria, Eric Noriega, Miguel Araujo, Aldo Corzo, Alexander Collins, Luis Abram, Carlos Escuse, Luis Advincula, Oliver Sani, Miguel Trauco, and Marcos Lopez. Midfielders, Wilder Cartagena, Martin Tavara, Sergio Peña, Jesus Castillo, Piero Quispe, João Grimaldo. Forwards, Andy Polo, Franco Zainolato, Gianluca Lapadula, Brian Reina, Paulo Guerrero, Edison Flores, and Jose Rivera. In this match, coach Jorge Fossati will make his debut with the bicolor diver, who as one of his novelties will put on stage the 1-3-5-2 system, which has characterized him throughout his career and with it that won Universitario champion in 2023. Jorge Fossati called up 29 players for this international window, with the inclusion of veteran Paulo Guerrero and fullback Oliver Sani, who is awaiting his senior debut in the national team. Juan Pablo Varillas champion of the Santiago Challenger. Juan Pablo Varillas was crowned champion of the Santiago Challenger. Juan Pablo Varillas was crowned champion of the Santiago Challenger and equaled the record of Luis Horna and Pablo Araya. The first national racket won 2-0, with partials of 6-3 and 6-2, against Argentine Facundo Bagnis and ensured his return to the top 100 in the ATP rankings. Juan Pablo Varillas, 110th ATP, continues to bring success to Peruvian tennis. On this occasion, the first national racket won the title of Challenger 75 in Santiago after defeating 2-0, with partials of 6-3 and 6-2, the Argentine Facundo Bagnis, 147th ATP, obtaining his first title this year. In this way, The 28-year-old tennis player assured his return to the top 100 in the ATP rankings, due because it will climb 15 positions, so, as of this Monday, March 18th, it will be the 95th best ranked in the world. The silver medalist at the Lima 2019 Pan American Games reached 6 challenger titles, equaling the record of Luis Horna and Pablo Urrea as the Peruvians who have lifted this type of trophies the most times. The previous championships of the popular Hornby were the Challenger of Campinas, Brazil, and the Challenger of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, in 2019, the Challenger of Biella 5, Italy, and the Challenger of Santiago, Chile, in 2022, and the Challenger of San Leopoldo, Brazil, in 2022. Let us remember that Lucho had been crowned in the Challenger of Zagreb, Croatia, Fortuna, Germany, in 2002, in Seville, Spain, in 2003, in Bermuda in 2004 and in Lugano, Switzerland, in 2008. Likewise, Urrea claimed champion in the Challenger. For his part, Urrea did it in Basel, Switzerland, and Torino, Italy, in 1981, in Messina, Italy, in 1982, Le Touquet, France, in 1983, in Santiago 1986 and San Luis Potosí, Mexico, in 1991. Happy for the Peruvians who came to encourage me. After winning the title, Juan Pablo Varillas thanked his team and remembered the difficult path he had to go through before reaching the final. Thank my team. This week has been like a roller coaster. We have been on the ledge the first 3 games, but we are here, that is tennis, he declared. The man born in Lima also took the opportunity to thank the Peruvians who came to encourage him. A special hug to the Peruvians who came today to encourage him. Always where I compete there are a couple there and it's comforting. It makes me happy too, perhaps, always be far from home, but at the same time feel close to it, he added. Likewise, the first national racket recalled that this is not the first time she has won a challenger in Santiago, Chile, as she also achieved it in 2022, very happy to win another challenger tournament here in Santiago. A couple of years ago it was my turn too. Whenever I came to this country I felt very comfortable. They have always treated me excellent. I love the tournament. Having tournaments close to home is always a pleasure, she concluded. The path of Juan Pablo Varillas in the Challenger of Santiago 2024. Juan Pablo Varillas arrived at the Santiago Challenger 2024 as one of the favorites to win, as he was the second best ranked, only behind the Chilean Tomás Barrios, 103rd ATP. However, his path to the final was not easy at all, because in his first 3 matches, he had to reach the tiebreak. His first rival was the British Paul Jubb, whom he beat 2-1 by sets of 6-3, 3-6 and 7-6, 8-6. Subsequently, he faced the Brazilian Orlando Luz, with a new victory, 6-3, 2-6, 7-6, 7-3, and then clashed with the Italian Francesco Pizarro, defeating him 7-5, 4-6 and 7-6, 5-6. Starting in the semi-finals, Varillas was able to overcome his opponents with fewer difficulties. He first beat the Canadian Liam Draxl 2-0, with partials of 6-3 and 6-2, and finally the Argentine Facundo Bagnis. Historical. Wendy Guevara, first trans woman in MAC Cosmetics. In MAC, Wendy Guevara adds another milestone. She is now the image of an international cosmetics brand. The trans content creator and actress posts some photographs on Instagram modeling a MAC lipstick and her followers celebrate her. The company ensures that it promotes diversity and individuality. Wendy Guevara, the most famous transgender figure in Mexico, has not only entered the world of television with her participation and triumph in Televisa Univision's La Casa de los Famosos Mexico, now she adds another milestone to her career by representing the MAC brand cosmetics. Babies, do you like this color? I loved it, the actress and content creator has published on her Instagram account with an initial photograph in which she models a pink lipstick and 4 more images in which she poses. The reactions were immediate and more than 166,000 people liked the publication. The first Mexican trans woman in MAC and Barrett, says one of the comments, which has accumulated more than 1,300 likes. The brand's Instagram account has spread the same photos of Wendy Guevara, although in a different order, with a similar message: "Do you like this color?" Wendy Guevara loved it. In response, most comments shower praise, although there are some criticisms. MAC describes itself on its website as the global authority on professional makeup and celebrates diversity and individuality. The company emphasizes, "We are here for all ages, all races and all genders." The firm emerged in Canada in the early 1980s when Frank Doskin, a makeup artist and photographer, and Frank Angelo, who owned a beauty salon, were looking for makeup that would allow them to take good photographs. Lacking one that convinced them, they decided to create their own and began making it in their kitchen. At that time they sold cosmetics in the establishment to other makeup artists, models and photographers. Once stylists and editors endorsed the products, their popularity grew, and in March 1984 they launched the brand on the counter of a department store in Toronto. The lipstick that Wendy Guevara uses, as she explains in her publication, is the Candy Yum Yum from the new MX Silky Matte lipstick. The brand indicates that this line seeks to give lips much more with a silky matte finish and a formula that looks more intense, feels better and lasts longer. The singer and actress Dana Paola is another Mexican personality who represents the brand as a global ambassador. Unlike Wendy Guevara, her favorite shade is darker, whirl, MAC details on her Instagram account. Mexican makeup artist Patrick Mua is also part of the brand's image and prefers the velvet teddy tone. Wendy Guevara is originally from Guanajuato, and after obtaining first place in La Casa de los Famosos Mexico she returned to the small screen with Wendy, Lost but Famous, another reality show in which she opens the doors of her daily life. She became famous on the networks from a video known as The Lost Ones, in which she appears with her friend Paula Suarez, laughingly lamenting because they are lost on a hill. She has become a symbol of the LGBT+ community, and now she also carries her lipstick as a banner. What was the strategy to win the venue for the Pan American Games? Lima 2027, the strategy to win the venue, $1 million investment and tentative date for the Pan American Games. Renzo Magnari, president of the Peruvian Olympic Committee, spoke with Infobee about the new national achievement and how it is preparing to host the most important multi-sport event on the continent. Lima, once again, will bring out its best suit to receive the best athletes on the continent. The capital of Peru will once again host the Pan American Games, generating happiness for all Peruvians. We went from yes we can to yes we could. The City of Kings beat Asunción by 28 votes and made the headquarters of the next multi-sports event its own. This is just beginning, because from now on there is a lot of work to do to live up to Lima 2027. Renzo Magnari, president of the Peruvian Olympic Committee, spoke with Infobee Peru and, among other topics, detailed the strategy that was used to celebrate the election in North American lands. It is always nice to bring joy to the country. It is necessary to highlight that Lima competed against two cities because Asunción proposed El Salvador as a sub-site for surfing. In practice it was Peru against two countries. These games must have a humanistic mix and put athletes at the center of the organization. They are the engine of this. The truth is that I didn't listen to it at first because I was very concerned about cross-checking the votes, corroborating who was well connected or not because the votes were by Zoom. We were clear about where the questions could come from, but we focused on the vision of sport, which is what we applied to the exhibition. We do not depend only on one government because we have been able to move from government to government. We have had different presidents recently, but it was always through the democratic channel. All our sporting processes have not been affected, quite the contrary. You focus on your abilities and skills. We focused on the attributes of Peru and that was the result. What is the next step after choosing Lima as the headquarters? What is coming is to sit down and review the contracts with Pan Am Sports, Legado and the national authorities. We, as an Olympic committee, are not interested in managing public funds. Our role will only be technical. We have already fulfilled our first mission, which was to win the headquarters. We have to coordinate the contract with Pan Am Sports, coordinate the payment schedules that have to be executed and coordinate the sports part. Apart from that, the federations are integrated into the technical and sporting process. How much is the amount budgeted for the 2027 Pan American Games? We are budgeting an amount of $370 million, rounding. It caught our attention that the budget of Paraguay and El Salvador was $330 million. Us having something costs us that and them not having so much costs them something similar. It was an element that was under discussion. It's not just the infrastructure. The Special Legacy project works well, the human team is very good. This year alone it has 6 world championships, 5 or 4 are in August. In what specific points will it be invested? From a sporting point of view, we added cricket, lacrosse, flag football and squash. There are 4 new sports in the Olympic program for Los Angeles 2028. This requires that the number of beds you have in the village has to rise to 9,800, therefore we are obliged to build 5 10-story towers. We have to improve the rowing proposal that was compared to 2019 because it was held in Huacho and we want it to be in La Punta, Callao. It is a project that the regional government is looking at and they have an aquatic center in Callao that would be the modalities of canoeing. There are 3 important works that would have to be done. We have to pay the broadcast rights, and more to Pan Am Sports. In addition, the mayor of Lima, Rafael Lopez Aliaga, announced that the largest investment in the history of the municipality in terms of infrastructure will be made. We are talking about $1.3 billion. At the end of the year, we will have Terminal 2 of the Jorge Chavez Airport that will have the capacity to receive 50 million passengers. How do you take the criticism so that this money is used for schools, hospitals, among others? It is an element that is always mentioned, however I believe that sport also adds because to the extent that you invest in sport you also invest in health prevention. With the Pan American Games you also generate sustainable sports spaces that are sustained over time. At the Lima 2019 Pan American Games we have generated economic growth because we host many tourists. There was a sporting development of the Peruvian delegations, they were the best sporting results in the history of Peru. An important issue is that Peruvian athletes can directly qualify for the Pan American Games by being owners of the venue. When one holds international events in Peru, it allows those athletes who in other circumstances would not qualify, either because they do not have the resources to travel or ultimately do not have the technical level to be able to achieve the previous processes, to classify directly. That is a training session with the best at the continental level, in terms of athletes, doctors, coaches, etc. Is there a tentative date for the start of Lima 2027? We are ready for you to start at any time. We have to coordinate the date with Pan Am Sports because there are other multi-sport events during that year and we cannot cross paths. We plan to propose the month of September, but that will depend on the organizer and how the issue of infrastructure advances and more is handled. Have you thought about what the mascot would be like? Milka was the official mascot of the Lima 2019 Pan American Games and it worked very well. I would like it to be the same, but it can't be done. There will be another mascot that will have to be defined through a contest. All about the second edition of Universal Woman 2024. All about the second edition of Universal Woman 2024. The second edition of Universal Woman will be held in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, this Friday, March 22, 2024. This contest will welcome participants of different marital statuses and ages between 25 and 45 years, coming from various nations and territories around the world. At the grand closing of the event, Valentina Belén Sánchez Trivela of Venezuela, the first Universal Woman, will pass the crown to her successor, who will receive a prize of $100,000. Candidates. At the moment, 44 candidates have confirmed their participation in Universal Woman 2024. Germany, Lila Justingmeer; Argentina, Michaela Lopez Bianchi; Australia, Shirley Pulido Hadler; Belgium, Sarah Maria Lux; Bolivia, Janela Van Duker; Brazil, Karina Villa Lamonzi; Cambodia, Brianna Mai; Chile, Camila Santiago; China, Yali Hu; Colombia, Laura Renteria; Cuba, Donna Mujica; Denmark, Laura Shu; El Salvador, Andrea Moran Benitez; Spain, Scarl Harris Bermudez; United States, Lana Bloom, Philippines; Maria Cecilio Gigante, France; Elisa Masishine, Georgia; Tata Gabidzashvili, Gibraltar; Yanira Jimenez Pelaez, Great Britain; Ashley Lauren Powell, Honduras; Catherine Nicole Ponce Chavez, Hong Kong; Orange Ning, Hungary; Sarah Sigeti, India; Apeksha Dabral, Indonesia; Ilda Saduk, Kenya; Lynette, Kenya; Lithuania; Raymonda Jekate, Malaysia; Chunya Yi, Moldova; Kristina Sukorukova, Myanmar; Kinmyo Hway, Namibia; Miriam Chiama, Pakistan; Shafina Shah, Poland; Lorian Palinao, Portugal; Risico Tremasan, Sao Puerto Rico; Elaine Marie Rosado Rivera, Republic Dominican; Chabeli Peña, Russia; Marina Rolgeiser, Tahiti; Fanny Julian Salva, Thailand; Jennifer Panlita Gustafson, Singapore; Jocelyn Chen, Switzerland; Vanessa Mab Williams, Venezuela; Lysandra Maria Chirinosky Yen, Vietnam; Bianca Wen, Zimbabwe; Sindiso Folks. Candidates. This document shows the journey through various beauty pageants of several Universal Woman 2024 contestants. In addition to showing the status, or result, they obtained in it, whether they have participated, or will participate. Argentina Micaela Lopez Bianchi, Miss World Next Top Model 2013 winner. United Kingdom Great Britain Ashley Lauren Powell, Miss International 2017 Top 8 also participated in Miss Scuba International 2019, Top 6. Honduras Catherine Nicole Ponce Chavez Miss Supranational 2019 did not qualify. Venezuela Lysandra Maria Chirinosky Yen Miss Latin America 2017, winner. Venezuela Lysandra Maria Chirinosky Yen International Coffee Kingdom 2023 did not qualify. Replaced candidates. Brazil, Mariana Bath was replaced by Karina Villela Monsi. Cuba, Amanda Lorena Laurentarato was replaced by Donna Mujica. Moldova, Julia Storich Babasai was replaced by Kristina Sukorukova, withdrawn candidates. Guinea, Kata Bosran. Kazakhstan, Azar Zimabekova. Latvia, Melda Rosenberg. Mexico, Jazara Alvarez Diaz. Peru, Diana Jimenez. Senegal, Khadija Tuamir. Ukraine, Yulia Drozdova. And Uruguay, Mariana Zamora. Debuts. Germany, Australia, Belgium, Chile, China, Denmark, El Salvador, Spain, United States, Philippines, France, Georgia, Gibraltar, Great Britain, United Kingdom, Honduras, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Lithuania, Malaysia, Moldova, Myanmar, Namibia, Pakistan, Puerto Rico, Russia, French Polynesia, Tahiti, Singapore, Switzerland, Vietnam, Zimbabwe. Miss Philippines Maria Higante, new Miss Universal Woman 2024. Miss Philippines Maria Higante, new Miss Universal Woman 2024. Today, on a dazzling night in Cambodia, the world witnessed the exciting outcome of Miss Universal Woman 2024. The audience was eager to know who would win the coveted crown among the competitors from different parts of the world. With every look, every step, and every word, the contestants radiated elegance and grace. Finally, the climax arrived and Philippines took the victory with her stunning representative, Maria Higante. Her beauty, her charisma and her confidence set her apart, winning the hearts of everyone present and leaving an indelible impression on the international stage. Miss Universal Woman 2024 represented by Maria Higante is an extraordinary woman who possesses grace, intelligence and a compassionate heart. Her beauty shines from within, radiating kindness and empowerment. Maria Higante is a shining example of what it means to be a universal woman, they added. Maria Higante is a presenter, model and businesswoman. She studied philosophy at the University of San Carlos. Maria, being a fierce and dedicated beauty queen. We cannot forget the impressive performance of the finalists as well. First finalist, Venezuela. Second runner-up, France. Third runner-up, Cambodia. Fourth runner-up, Dominican Republic. Whose presence and talent added an extra sparkle to the night. This pageant was not only a spectacle of glamour and beauty, but also served as a platform to highlight the diversity and culture of Cambodia to the entire world. It was a celebration of femininity, strength and beauty in all its forms, and Maria Gigante becomes the new ambassador of these universal values. Long live the new Miss Universal Woman 2024. Leave us your comment and subscribe to continue growing, and follow us on our social networks, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and TikTok.
Venezuela and Philippines. Let me see. Let me hear your cheering. The universal woman is Philippines.
Congratulations, Philippines! Congratulations to Venezuela, being the first runner-up.
Now, our reigning queen will crown the Universal Woman 2024 is Philippines. What a moment.
What a moment. And the crowd loves it. Congratulations again, Philippines.
Milena Wardhan and her Andino pop in Europe. Milena Wardhan shines in Europe, offering concerts in Barcelona, Madrid and Paris. The Peruvian performer is in European lands, where she arrived as part of her first international tour. Milena Wardhan has been in Europe since the beginning of March. The Peruvian singer-songwriter traveled with her band as part of her first international tour, taking with her musical project Pop Andino. With successful concerts in cities such as Barcelona, Madrid and Paris, the winner of the Silver Seagull at the Viña del March 2023 International Festival, continues to receive the love of her followers, who enjoyed each show chanting and dancing her successful songs that are part of his first record. In addition to her busy schedule in each European city she visits, Milena gives press conferences and signs autographs to her fans who have been waiting for her arrival for a long time. However, despite all this successful tour, the Peruvian interpreter does not stop missing her loved ones, and this was shown in one of her publications on her official Instagram account, where she assured that all the effort now is worth it. I am sure that every effort will be worth it. I am very grateful and happy for the love that the public is receiving. We are sowing seeds because without a doubt this is the beginning of new adventures and territories, wrote the Warmazate interpreter. In addition, she highlighted the pride she feels in the achievements she obtains despite her young age. I am very proud that, at 23 years old, I am literally touring the world thanks to my music. Finally, Milena opened her heart to express how much she misses her family. You don't know how much I miss you. I count the days until I return home and my people welcome me with open arms. Thank you for being with us from a distance. Milena Wardhan's tour will continue with emotional concerts in cities such as Torino, Milan, Berlin and the second date in Barcelona. When are Milena Wardhan's next concerts in Europe? Torino, Friday, March 15th, fulfilled. Milano, Sunday, March 17th, fulfilled. Berlin, Saturday, March 23rd. Barcelona, Tuesday, March 26th, private show. Milena, you are embarking on an exciting adventure through Europe. May this journey be full of enriching experiences, fascinating discoveries and unforgettable moments. Trust yourself, stay positive, and embrace every opportunity that comes your way. Remember that you have all the potential to shine and leave an indelible mark wherever you go. Leaving the name of your homeland Peru high. May you enjoy every moment to the fullest and return with a heart full of new experiences and learnings. Go ahead, Milena, the world awaits you with open arms. Up with Indian pop. Jorge Fossati debuts with victory. Peru beat Nicaragua 2-0 in Matute in an international friendly. Jorge Fossati debuts with victory. Peru beat Nicaragua 2-0 in Matute in an international friendly. The Peruvian national team beat Nicaragua with goals from João Grimaldo and Gianluca Lapadula. Oliver Sani made his debut in the red and white. New era in the two-tone. Peru beat Nicaragua 2-0 this Friday in a vibrant friendly match that marked the debut of its new strategist, the Uruguayan Jorge Fossati, as well as the Peruvian-Danish winger Oliver Sani, who has become the new sensation among fans. With the Alejandro Villanueva Stadium as the stage, the Peruvian national team, wearing an alternate uniform, was able to regain victory, after being at the bottom of the classification table for the 2026 World Cup, with only 2 points in 6 games. The Peruvian team came out determined to give their fans a party, and with their first touch of the ball they launched themselves into the Nicaraguan goal with Andy Polo, their captain Paulo Guerrero and João Grimaldo. Polo crossed the ball into Rodriguez's goal. Guerrero did not reach it, but Grimaldo kicked with his left foot and scored his first goal with the Peruvian team, in the first minute, and also under the new era of Fossati. The Peruvian attack continued high, and after 12 minutes Polo once again escaped from the Nicaraguan defense and shot another cross that was converted by Gianluca Lapadula. Guerrero, the historic scorer of the bicolor team, rushed his arrival at Rodriguez's goal, but was unable to increase the marker, and one of his headers ends up in the hands of the goalkeeper. For the Pinolero team, Hernandez and Tremenio tried Casada's goal with a free kick and a header, but the Peruvian defended his goal in the initial period. In the second half, those led by Chilean Marco Antonio Figueroa came out to pressure Peru with Hernandez and Flitz, but their shots ended up in the hands of Casada. However, the locals recovered the ball and tried with Guerrero to find the third of the night. The fans staged a separate party with waves in the stadium and shouting for Fossati to play Sani, the Peruvian Danish called up to the national team since last year, but who had not yet played a game with the bicolor. Within minutes, Fossati called Sani and entered a national team match for the first time, amidst the applause and shouts of the fans in the stadium in the Matute neighborhood. The Peruvian coach made his 6 changes in the friendly match, as he had anticipated, to continue testing a new 3-5-2 tactical scheme that will allow him to define the team that will play the next Copa America and the following South American qualifying matches for the 2026 World Cup. After this commitment, Peru will face the Dominican Republic in another friendly on Tuesday at the Monumental U Marathon Stadium. Peru vs Nicaragua, the party alignments. Peru, Carlos Casada, Miguel Araujo, Alexander Collins, Carlos Escus, Wilder Cartagena, Martin Tavara, João Grimaldo, Miguel Trauco, Andy Polo, Paulo Guerrero and Gianluca Lapadula. Nicaragua, M. Rodriguez, H. Niño, M. Flights, J. Perez, O. Acevedo, M. Belli, J. Coronel, B. Hernandez, J. Barrera, A. Tremenio and L. Coronel. Matute exploded. Oliver Sani debuted with the Peruvian national team in the clash against Nicaragua. Matute exploded when Sani entered the court. Matute exploded. Oliver Sani debuted with the Peruvian national team in the clash against Nicaragua. After several call-ups, Oliver Sani finally played his first game with the Peruvian national team precisely in Jorge Fossati's debut. Came the day. The Peruvian national team ended up winning 2-0 against Nicaragua at the close of the first half of the international friendly in Matute. In the complementary game, the Uruguayan Jorge Fossati made a series of variations in the first minutes. One of them was Oliver Sani, born 23 years ago in Denmark. At 14 minutes into the second half, Fossati opted for the entry of Sani, who looked happy but focused, to replace Miguel Trauco amidst the applause of the fans in the Victorian Colossus. Sani entered the Peru 11 to play on the left wing, a role that he already fulfilled at the time as a player for Selgaba if of the Danish Super League. Let us remember that after receiving Peruvian nationalization, Sani was called up for the first time in October 2023 by the then coach Juan Reynoso for the clashes against Chile and Argentina. However, he just managed to play his first minutes with the bicolor. Jorge Fossati made a series of variations in the first minutes. One of them was Oliver Sani, born 23 years ago in Denmark. At 14 minutes into the second half, Fossati opted for the entry of Sani, who looked happy but focused, to replace Miguel Trauco amidst the applause of the fans in the Victorian Colossus. Sonny entered the Peru 11 to play on the left wing, a role that he already fulfilled at the time as a player for Selgaba if of the Danish Super League. Let us remember that after receiving Peruvian nationalization, Sonny was called up for the first time in October 2023 by the then coach Juan Reynoso for the clashes against Chile and Argentina. However, he just managed to play his first minutes with the bicolor. Jorge Fossati did not hesitate to affirm that the most important thing was seeing Oliver Sonny on the field. Upon seeing the debut of the Viking, the stadium erupted with screams. Likewise, social media users reacted and celebrated Sonny's entry onto the playing field. Even when he's sweating he looks handsome, I love you, Oliver Sonny. Finally, it was today, Oliver Sonny's official debut with the Peruvian national team. Let's go Gringo Carl, Oliver Sonny, aka Raw Churro. Oliver Sonny, it's your time to shine, were some of the user reactions. Leave us your comment and subscribe to continue growing, and follow us on our social networks, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and TikTok.
¿Ustedes creen que este 22 y 26 el estadio se llene para alentar a la bicolor?
Claro, te causa.
Peru news. What time does Peru vs Dominican Republic play for an international friendly 2024? What time does Peru vs play Dominican Republic for international friendly 2024? Review the incidents of the match between the Peruvian national team and the Dominican Republic at the Monumental Stadium. The Peruvian national team will return to action when it plays its second match of 2024, an international friendly against its counterpart from the Dominican Republic. The match will also be the second in the cycle of Jorge Fossati, who debuted at the helm of the bicolor with a 2-0 victory over Nicaragua with goals from João Grimaldo and Gianluca Lapadula. Against the Pindoleros we saw the game system that characterizes the experienced strategist and some nuances that he wants to enhance for the mid-year Copa America and the resumption of the qualifiers. For its next match, Peru would present new features in its lineup after Fossati's announcement that there would be many changes. Thus, names like Pedro Galice, Aldo Corzo, Piero Quispe and Edison Flores appear in the 11. When does Peru play vs Dominican Republic? The match for the FIFA date in an international friendly, between Peru and the Dominican Republic, will take place on Tuesday, March 26, with the bicolor being local in the 8th district, in Lima. What time does Peru vs play Dominican Republic? The match between the Peruvian national team vs Dominican Republic will be played at 8:30 p.m. Peruvian time, 9:30 p.m. Nicaragua time, at the Monumental U Marathon Stadium. Peru, 8:30 p.m. Dominican Republic, 9:30 p.m. Argentina, 10:30 p.m. Ecuador, 8:30 p.m. Colombia, 8:30 p.m. Mexico, 7:30 p.m. Uruguay, 10:30 p.m. Brazil, 10:30 p.m. Chile, 10:30 p.m. Paraguay, 10:30 p.m. United States, Miami, 8:30 p.m. United States, Los Angeles, 5:30 p.m. Spain, 2:30 a.m., Wednesday, March 27th. Where to see Peru vs Dominican Republic via TV for an international friendly. The live match will be broadcast throughout the national territory on Open TV on America TV and ATV, while it can also be seen on Movistar Deportes, Channel 3 and 703 HD of Movistar TV. RPP will broadcast the friendly on radio, on the frequency 89.7 FM, 7:30 AM, its various stations nationwide, and on audio player.